Today we've got news on some big changes in the iPhone 17 series as well as a new addition to the lineup, so make sure you hit subscribe now and we'll get right into it. So first up, on the iPhone 17 Pro models, we get another big display change, though this time it's going to be the dynamic island. And many leakers are advising now that it's going to be the first iPhone to feature an under-display Face ID sensor, although the camera is still going to be there, so that's going to be in the form of a punch-hole camera. Now this has been reported by many leakers for quite some time now, and it's thought that Apple could do away with the dynamic island entirely on the Pro models, but analyst Jeff Poo also released a report to say that the Face ID is now going to use a meta lens, which means it's still going to be there, but it's flatter and smaller, and that the size of the dynamic island is actually going to be reduced, but it's not going to be removed altogether. Now, as well as this, we're of course going to get a brighter and more accurate display on the iPhone 17 Pro models, and we're expecting it to be around 3000 nits peak. And for those of you that enjoy great video quality, we've got today's video sponsor, JMGO's N1S Pro 4K, which is the world's first triple laser projector with Google TV built in, and it comes with an epic Black Friday discount. With 2400 ANSI lumens of brightness, HDR10 and a gimbal design that means you can put the projector down anywhere and set it up anywhere in seconds, the N1S Pro 4K is a great projector for watching home movies, TV shows or even gaming. And on top of its gimbal design, we also get autofocus and auto keystone correction using the 3D time of flight sensor that's built in, and this will align the screen to the surface in just a couple of seconds, and best of all, it's going to work on any surface. If you want this incredibly versatile 4K projector, then go ahead and check it out now by clicking the link down in the description below. And it's currently on offer for Black Friday, which means it's just €1,399 for Germany and France, and then $1,299 for the USA. Now back to the iPhone 17, we've got news that there's going to be a new iPhone 17 Air, which is going to be much thinner than we originally thought, and it's going to be even thinner than the iPhone 6's 6.9mm. Now the news comes from Jeff Poo, who agrees that the new iPhone 17 Air is going to be around 6mm thick, and this makes it the thinnest iPhone ever. And it's also going to have less impressive specs than the iPhone 17 range, including only one camera. And the only thing that confuses me is that we've got the new iPhone SE coming in March of next year, and this means that there's not really any need for this lower spec iPhone 17 Air. But my assumption is that if it does exist, it's going to be launched later on in the year than the iPhone 17, and maybe it's even essentially the iPhone SE 5 that we'll see in 2026. Now next up, we've got news that the A19 Pro chip to be featured in the iPhone 17 is going to be manufactured on TSMC's third generation 3nm process, which is called the N3P node, and this is going to deliver some big improvements for both performance and efficiency, but it also means that the previous reports of a 2nm chipset were incorrect. Now according to the report, Apple are going to be using TSMC's 2nm process for their A20 chip in the iPhone 18 models, and it's not going to be for the iPhone 17. A big change to the iPhone 17 series, however, is going to be with the non-Pro models, and they're going to be delivering a change that's been requested for many users for quite some time now. With the standard iPhone 17 models, we're finally going to be getting an upgrade to 120Hz LTPO OLED displays, and judging by the comment section, this is going to be a huge relief to many who have been complaining about the displays for years. A new report from ET News states that there's no longer going to be a refresh rate gap between any of the iPhone 17 models, and this even includes the new iPhone 17 Air, and all of these models are going to use 120Hz displays. Now next up, we've got news that Apple are going to be upgrading to a 48 megapixel periscope camera in the Pro models, and this is to increase the quality of the zoom shots. And then the selfie camera is also going to be getting an upgrade to 24 megapixel, but unfortunately these changes are going to be for the Pro models only. Now we've also got news on top of that Apple are going to be using their own Wi-Fi 7 chips for the iPhone 17 series, and the Pro models are going to be getting an upgrade to 12GB of RAM, not only to help with the Apple Intelligence, but also just for better performance across the board. Now I think plenty of hardware changes are going to be necessary for the iPhone 17 after this year's launch focused mainly on the software and Apple Intelligence, which I think has disappointed more people than it's impressed so far. So we can expect to see these new upgrades implemented on the iPhone 17, and for those of you excited, we're now going to run through the full specs, design and the expected pricing of each model in the iPhone 17 series to help you guys decide which one is right for you. So hit subscribe now and we'll get right into it. So first up, we've got the standard iPhone 17. With the standard iPhone 17, we get a 6.1-inch Super Retina OLED display, which for the first time ever is going to be a 120Hz LTPO display. It's coming with a resolution of 1179 by 2556 and protected by the next-gen ceramic shield, and we also get a peak brightness of around 3000 nits. We get the new and improved Face ID sensor, which may allow Apple to shrink the size of the dynamic island, and then the selfie camera gets an upgrade to a new 24-megapixel selfie camera. And then over on the rear, it's going to be another dual camera setup with a 48-megapixel primary and a 48-megapixel ultra-wide. It's powered by the A19 chipset and comes with 8GB of RAM and up to 1TB of storage, and it's powered up by a 3600 mAh battery with an upgrade to 45W fast charging, and it's going to come with 5G Advanced, Bluetooth 5.3, Wi-Fi 7 and NFC. It will of course ship with iOS 19 and is expected to launch from around $850 in mid-September 2025. Now next up, we've got the iPhone 17 Plus, and with the iPhone 17 Plus, we get a 6.7-inch Super Retina OLED display, which is also going to be a 120Hz LTPO display. It's coming with a resolution of 1290 by 2796, protected by the next-gen ceramic shield, and have a peak brightness of around 3000 nits. We get the new and improved Face ID sensor, which may allow Apple to shrink the size of the dynamic island, and again, the selfie camera gets an upgrade to a new 24-megapixel selfie camera, and over on the rear, it's going to be another dual camera setup with a 48-megapixel primary and a 48-megapixel ultra-wide. It's powered up by the A19 chipset and comes with 8GB of RAM and up to 1TB of storage. It's going to be powered up by a 4700 mAh battery with an upgrade to 45W fast charging, and it's again going to come with 5G Advanced, Bluetooth 5.3, Wi-Fi 7 and NFC. Now it will of course ship with iOS 19 and it's expected to launch from around $950 in mid-September. Now next up, we've got the iPhone 17 Pro, and this comes with a 6.3-inch 120Hz LTPO OLED display. It's coming with a resolution of 1206 by 2622. It's protected by the next-gen ceramic shield, and it's coming with a peak brightness of around 3000 nits. We get the new under-display Face ID sensor, which means there may not be any dynamic island at all. We're instead going to get a punch-hole camera top center for a full-screen display. Now the selfie camera is upgraded to a 24-megapixel selfie camera, then over on the rear we've got a 48-megapixel primary camera, a 48-megapixel ultra-wide, a 48-megapixel periscope, and of course a LiDAR scanner. It's powered up by the 2nm A19 Pro chipset, and it comes with 12GB of RAM and up to 1TB storage. It's powered by a 3600 mAh battery with an upgraded 50W fast charge, and it also comes with advanced 5G, Bluetooth 5.3, Wi-Fi 7 and NFC. It will of course ship with iOS 19 and is expected to launch from around $1050, and again is coming in mid-September. Now finally, we saved the best to last, the iPhone 17 Pro Max. With the iPhone 17 Pro Max, we get a 6.9-inch 120Hz LTPO OLED display. It's got a resolution of 1320 by 2868. It's protected by the next-gen ceramic shield, and it also comes with a peak brightness of around 3000 nits. We get a new under-display Face ID sensor, which means that there may not be any dynamic island at all, and we instead get a punch-hole camera top center for a full-screen display. Now the selfie camera in the punch hole is going to be a 24-megapixel selfie camera, then over on the rear we've got a 48-megapixel primary camera, a 48-megapixel ultra-wide camera, a 48-megapixel periscope camera, and the LiDAR scanner. It's powered up by the new 2nm A19 Pro chipset, and it comes with 12GB of RAM and up to 1TB of storage. It's going to be powered up by a 4700 mAh battery with an upgrade to 50W fast charge, and it also comes with advanced 5G, Bluetooth 5.3, Wi-Fi 7 and NFC. Now of course, it's shipping with iOS 19 and is expected to launch from around $1250 in mid-September. So overall, the iPhone 17 lineup is looking like an exciting release from Apple, and we finally get some big changes, especially with the non-pros upgrading to 120Hz displays. There's no doubt going to be a lot of focus being poured into Apple's intelligence over the next year as well, with Apple trying to capitalize on the power of their chipsets in their software, and then the upgraded RAM in the Pro models is also going to add a lot more versatility. Now of course, given its similarities with the predecessor, I don't think anyone with the 16 is going to be rushing for an upgrade, But for anyone with an older iPhone or looking to try out their first iPhone, then it's going to be a great choice. Now, of course, there's still quite a way away until the official launch. We're no doubt going to get more and more information as we approach that in September. And of course, I'll be sharing everything as soon as it comes in. So make sure you subscribe so you don't miss a thing in the future.